In this video, we'll look at how Arizona's citizen legislature is organized around political parties and legislative committees. Arizona's Constitution specifies that the Arizona legislature will meet yearly, starting on the second Monday of January. As elections for all state legislative seats are held every 2 years, the legislature has a 2-year work cycle. Each year is called a regular session. Special sessions focused on a single topic can also be called by the governor at any time. Interestingly, Arizona's Constitution does not tell us how long the legislature should meet. By a long-established tradition, each year's legislative session lasts only about 100 days. Because the sessions last only part of the year, members of the state House and Senate are considered to be part-time. While the legislature is in session for just over 3 months, state legislators meet with constituents and interest groups year-round to listen to concerns. The ideas at these meetings often result in new legislation.
There are a lot of ways for people to bring their concerns and issues to the legislature. I think one of the most effective ways is doing it as a face-to-face sit-down meeting. And a lot of times, the best time to do that is not in the middle of the legislative session. It's well before the session starts, because then we have time to really study the issue and put together legislation that we can introduce in the session.
Ideas for legislation will actually come from a constituent reaching out to the member with a problem that they have. I can think of numerous bills that have started just from a constituent reaching out to a member and saying, this is an issue that I've seen in my community, in my neighborhood. And after further research, it's something that's happening across the state and something that needs to be addressed. And I think it's a really great way for members to solve problems, but also be in touch with their constituents. Is just that open line of communication.
While technically all members are equal, the division of power between the majority and minority party matters a great deal. The political party that holds the most seats in the legislature has the privilege of holding key leadership positions. This means that the majority party controls nearly everything the legislature does.
What we forget is that policy affects every single person, regardless if they're Republican or Democrat or whatever their party affiliation is. Parties can help govern by way of principles and values, in the sense that people kind of ascribe to or they align themselves with those particular, and you know that as a voter leading into it.
There is a clear leadership hierarchy in each chamber. The House leader is called the Speaker. In the Senate, the top leader is called the President. In addition, there is also a majority leader and a whip in the House and Senate. The minority party in both the House and Senate chooses a minority party leader, an assistant minority leader, and a minority whip.
One of the most important aspects to me of being a leader in the legislature, particularly as one of the minority leaders, is being a voice and bringing a voice to the members of my caucus and the constituents that we represent, because it doesn't matter if you're in the minority or the majority, you represent the same amount of constituents no matter what. And oftentimes those of us in the minority, our constituents don't get the same voice. And so as the minority leader, it's important to elevate that voice and to put forward a clear agenda that says this is what we would do if we were the governing party. And that's really, I think, the most important aspect for me as being the minority leader in the legislature.
The House Speaker and the Senate President have the power to determine which issues will be top priority. They refer bills to the committee and when or whether to hold floor votes on bills. They decide committee membership and select the chairs. And overall, they have the responsibility of keeping their party unified as much as possible.
One of the most important aspects of my role as a party leader here at the House, as Speaker of the House, is just keeping everything going. There are so many opportunities in the process as people get worked up about issues where we can get bogged down and you make no progress whatsoever. So just keeping the wheels turning, keeping the process moving is probably one of the most fundamental things that I do as Speaker of the House.
Majority and minority party leaders are focused on getting a majority of votes in each chamber to support key pieces of legislation, such as the budget. Legislators are helped by staff in the drafting of legislation, and those bills are further refined or changed by legislative committees. We will further explore the role of legislative staff and committees in the next video.